Hello, and welcome to another article of Mediocre Man magazine. I'm your host, Mediocre Man. Yeah, so the first couple of weeks, first couple of articles there, we're off to a good start. Pretty happy with it all. Wife's pretty happy about the two floating side tables, so real happy about that one. Wasn't really sure what to do these couple of weeks after I did the first two episodes, so I started chatting with the wife. And we have this alcove upstairs, or I guess you'll call it a nook. Whatever. The cove itself has always been an awkward spot since we moved in, and then over the COVID lockdown we separated the house and we used it as sort of an office space. But then now that we're back to teaching, it's kind of just collected clutter, so we just cleared it out and we started talking about it. I had an idea to kind of really customize and buy a nice comfy chair, put a gaming PC there and really get it nicely set up, you know, custom headset, everything that I need for gaming. And my wife, she really wanted a storage closet because we don't have enough storage. And you know what, this time I really was annoyed because I don't ask for much. So I went in there and I put my foot down, and I think I really made my point. So we compromised, and this week's episode of Mediocre Magazine, we're building a storage closet. Seriously. Anyways. That's better. Alright, so first things first, when putting in a set of closet in a space that wasn't supposed to be necessarily a closet, you need to start with an opening. In this instance, it's a floor to ceiling opening. This distance right here says just under 5 feet. So how that works in the increments that they sell at the door and moldings stores is they only come in certain increments. So I had to drop down to 4 feet. Here in Surrey BC, there is a local door and molding manufacturer, A1 Doors. If you guys are from around here or even are willing to make the drive, like for quality and for price, there really is nothing better. Going forward now, I bought these two doors here. Boom, okay? So if you look at it, you have a 1 foot panel, 1 foot panel, they're bifolding, so it'll come 1 foot out, which is out to here, so I can walk through the closet way, and as well, that they'll be big enough. So next step is to lay out the closet itself, and then build off the wall this side. Up here at the top of the closet, there's a space, and obviously we need to put a wall in there. This is gonna take several episodes. I'm not gonna be able to do an entire closet door in one YouTube episode, so this time I think what we'll do is we're just gonna focus on layout and framing. Wish me luck. Alright, so equipment needed. First of all, I'm just going to be giving you the tools that is needed for doing the layout for the closet. You'll need your personal protective equipment, also known as PPE. You'll need a drill, specifically a DeWalt drill if you got one. I'm not sponsored by DeWalt, but that would be sweet. Anyways, for your battery powered drill, you want to have a backup battery and charger, my DeWalt stud finder, your closet instruction manuals, a tape measure, a knife and a pencil, a 2 foot level, 4 foot level, a drywall knife. Normally I would say that a drywall knife is good enough, but in this case, if you have a DeWalt 20 volt flush cut saw, makes it a lot easier to do your work. This thing cuts through drywall like a pig chews through bone like butter. Yep, after you got all that stuff, we're ready to go. I almost forgot the most important thing while working on your house on the weekend, a beer. Wish me luck. So, with the DeWalt flush cut saw, it's very easy to take off trim. First thing I want to do is just score a line, remove the trim because the closet is going to go right up against this side, and then I'm going to make a small wall on the other side. Okay, now I got this little pry bar. I know I didn't put that in the material list, but I realized I need to pop this board off without trying to use any other tools. Use the right tool for the right job. If you can, move that out of the way, and then this little piece here, take the little saw. Alright, so I want that to go flush up against the corner. I always keep these pieces just in case for later if there's a way I can tie it in. But I'm going to want to make this wall look flush on this corner, and then the closet door is going to start right here and go that way. Now, I'm going to grab my measuring tape because I want to know, I know the wall on the other side is bigger than this wall right here. So, to the inside of this corner right here, I'll measure up the back side, and it says 20 3/4. So 20 3/4 is right there on that corner right there. And then I know by checking it, perfectly level. So then I go up this way, make a nice level line all the way to the top. So now I'm going to make a line on the other wall at 20 3/4, and that's going to be my place for layout. I know on a corner there's going to be a stud, so I don't have to worry about this side, but I might have to worry about that side. Alright, so now on this side of the wall, I'm going to grab my tape measure and I'm going to measure over 20 3/4 again. From the back of the wall this way, 20 3/4. So I'm going to take that mark at 20 3/4, which is approximately 9 inches inwards from this wall where it was flush on the other side, and I'm going to level a line all the way up. The bubbles between the two lines, make a mark, and yes, I even mark down over the trim. With my DeWalt trim cutter, I can now cut into here and then measure over the thickness of the wall and then make another vertical mark that the wall will go in that place. All right, here I go. Alright, so the width of a 2x4 is 3.5 inches. The thickness of drywall is 1/2 inch. That's the drywall I'll be using. If I go 1/2 inch for one side of drywall, 1/2 inch for another side of drywall, and 3.5 inches, that is, can't count that high. 3.5, 4, 4.5. Okay, so I go 4.5 over, and I make another level mark all the way to the top. Bubbles between the line. And then I would also take those two lines and take them to the roof. Woo! So satisfying. This comes right out. Boop. Here you go. Now I don't have to take off this trim or this trim. I can just now start laying out to cut through the drywall and make the wall fit up against there. So, getting warm up here.
Many times did you say my name in the pale moonlight? Did it feel the same?
Alright, so you notice I didn't actually use the drywall knife. It was really beneficial to use the flush cut saw. Some of you won't have that, so you have to choose between the two. It's easier with the flush cut saw because I can just go on an angle and barely protrude through. Whereas if you have the drywall saw, you're cutting in and out. And when you cut in and out with the drywall saw, if there's any electrical or plumbing lines in the back, which in this case just around the corner here, I'm holding on to some tech cable, you don't want to actually cut through that. You got to be careful. So be careful and make sure you don't protrude the knife too far through. You don't want to hit anything behind the wall that you can't see. This is now open and ready. So demolition and layout for this part is done. The layout on that side is done. And now all I need to do is cut a little part of the carpet out for how far the wall is. Grab your instructions, and the instructions on a closet door will have something called a rough opening. The rough opening is the size of the opening for construction. The doors will fit in the rough opening. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically lay out on the carpet what the rough opening line is, how wide it's got to be. Then I'm going to cut the carpet out, and then that's pretty much it for layout and prep for this week. Next week we're going to go into framing. Wish me luck. So the instructions say that take the door total for 2 doors and you add 1/2 inch, which is 4 foot 1/2 inch or 48.5 inches, and then you would make a mark there. That's now 20 3/4 this way by 4 foot and 1/2 inch opening. Now I'm just going to trim along and cut the carpet. Okay, so beer in the fridge this week, finally. We got Red Truck Lager, definitely one of my favorites and a go-to. Light, it's local here in Vancouver, comes in an 8-pack, so 2 more beers for a couple more bucks. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, just to recap what we went over today, we did the layout and the demolition for the closet I'm doing. The storage closet that I'm just so happy that I'm putting in. Yeah. I showcased the edge trimmer that DeWalt makes. I pushed a little too hard and I busted the bit. Hey, it happens. Aiming for average here. Man, that's expensive. Oh well. Yeah, going forward, just a quick recap of what we went over. After I took the old desk out, I then opened up all of the closet doors, took the instructions from the closet doors, and got some measurements of what I needed. From there, I made a level line and cut into the trim on the bottom on one side, transferred that line over to the other side where the wall was a little bit bigger. From that measurement, I made 2 lines where I need to break into the wall because there's no backing, so I cut the drywall out, cut through the bottom trim as well, cut the carpet out, did a good cleanup, and so next week we'll line it up for doing the framing. Going forward, just want to throw out thanks in regards to the road trip blogger, friend of mine, Alex Marsland. She heard that I was going to be showcasing this in the last episode, so she bought me a 6-pack, and that was the bottles that I drank. But I also got so carried away on before, because I've had them for a few days now, that I only have one left. So hit the store and got a few more. No complaints here. That's about it. The episodes ahead, we're going to be working on the closet a little bit more. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share with your friends, follow me on Facebook at Mediocre Man, Instagram at mediocre.man.315, and thanks. Once again, this is Mediocre Man Magazine, and I'm Mediocre Man. Cheers.